A question is also raised as to the propriety of dissolving or not dissolving those friendships, the parties to which do not remain what they were when the connection was formed. Now, surely, in respect of those whose motive to friendship is utility or pleasure, there can be nothing wrong in breaking up the connection when they no longer have those qualities, because they were friends, not of one another, but of those qualities, and these having failed, it is only reasonable to expect that they should cease to entertain the sentiment. But a man has reason to find fault if the other party, being really attached to him because of advantage or pleasure, pretended to be so because of his moral character. In fact, as we said at the commencement, the most common source of quarrels between friends is their not being friends on the same grounds as they suppose themselves to be. Now, when a man has been deceived in having supposed himself to excite the sentiment of friendship by reason of his moral character, the other party doing nothing to indicate he has but himself to blame. But when he has been deceived by the pretense of the other, he has the right to find fault with the man who has so deceived him. Aye, even more than with utterers of false coin, in proportion to the greater preciousness of that which is the object matter of the villainy. But suppose a man takes up another as being a good man, who turns out, as is found by him, to be a scoundrel. Is he bound still to entertain friendship for him? Or may we not say at once, is it impossible? Since it is not everything which is the object matter of friendship, but only that which is good, and so there is no obligation to be a bad man's friend, nor in fact ought one to be such, for one ought not to be a lover of evil, nor to be assimilated to what is base, which would be implied, because we have said before, like a friendly to like. Are we then to break with him instantly? Not in all cases, only where our friends are incurably depraved. When there is a chance of amendment, we are bound to aid in repairing the moral character of our friends, even more than their substance, in proportion as it is better and more closely related to friendship. Still, he who should break off the connection is not to be judged to act wrongly, for he never was a friend to such a character as the other now is, and therefore, since the man is changed and he cannot reduce him to original state, he backs out of the connection. To put another case, suppose that one party remains what he was when the friendship was formed, while the other becomes morally improved and widely different from his friends in goodness. Is the improved character to treat the other as a friend? May we not say it is impossible? The case, of course, is clearest where there is a great difference. As in the friendships of boys, for suppose that of two boyish friends, the one still continues a boy in mind, and the other becomes a man of the highest character. How can they be friends? Since they neither are pleased with the same objects, nor like and dislike the same things, for these points will not belong to them as regards one another. As without them, it was assumed they cannot be friends because they cannot live in intimacy, and of the case of those who cannot do so we have spoken before. Well then, is the improved party to bear himself towards his former friend in no way differently to what he would have done had the connection never existed? Surely he ought to bear in mind the intimacy of past times, and just as we think ourselves bound to favors for our friends in preference to strangers, so too those who have been friends and are no longer, we should allow somewhat on the score of previous friendship, whenever the cause of severance is not excessive depravity on their part.